Have you ever looked up at the stars and thought, not just what's out there, but how did this all get built? Well, today, we're not just wondering. We're going to pop the hood and look at the engine. We're exploring a pretty radical idea from a unique theological tradition, but we're treating it like a blueprint, a step-by-step guide on how you would actually build a universe.
And right out of the gate, we get to the core claim. The material we're looking at today suggests that the whole point isn't just to meet a creator, but for us to eventually become one. It's a huge, audacious idea, right? And it immediately brings up a very practical question.
Exactly. How? This is where we pivot from philosophy to, well, physics, from theology to logistics. For the next few minutes, let's think of this less like a sermon and more like a training seminar for cosmic architects. So let's crack open that blueprint.
All right, Chapter 1, the cosmic blueprint. This first part is all about the how. It's the core process, the mechanism that's supposed to make this whole transformation from human to creator even possible. And we're not just talking about a status update. This is about a fundamental upgrade to what we are.
So the source gives this process a name, Exaltation. But forget the stained glass window version. Here, it's framed as something almost scientific. It's about mastering the fundamental laws of the universe, literally learning the physics that makes matter listen to you. It's less of a miracle and more like graduating to an entirely new level of cosmic engineering.
Okay, so any big project needs two things, right? You need your raw materials and you need the right tools. If you're going to build a universe from the ground up, what are you even working with, and how do you shape it?
And right away, this blueprint presents a huge shift in thinking. The model a lot of us are used to is creation from nothing, right? Poof! A universe appears. It's basically magic. But this other model, organizing from chaos, is way more like sculpting. The creator doesn't just snap their fingers, they take stuff that already exists and give it form, order, and purpose.
And here are those raw materials, the stuff you're sculpting with. You start with chaos, which is described as this disorganized soup of eternal elements. But, and this is key, it's not empty. Floating in this soup are pre-existing intelligences, basically eternal conscious entities, and there's also a finer substance called spirit matter. So the job isn't making something from nothing, it's organizing everything that's already there.
So what's your main tool? Your cosmic chisel, if you will. It's called the Word. But we're not just talking about speaking. It's described as a kind of frequency, a resonance of pure, perfected will that is so in tune with universal laws that those eternal elements just obey. It's the ultimate tool of focused intent.
Now, if the Word is the tool, then the priesthood, in this context, is the user manual. It's presented as a kind of divine technology, a set of rules and protocols that teaches you how to wield that creative force correctly and effectively. It's the science behind the art, the instruction booklet for the tool.
Okay, so we've got our materials and we have the instruction manual for our tools. But what's the power source? What's the engine that drives this whole creative enterprise? Well, according to this blueprint, there isn't just one engine. There are two, and they are totally interconnected.
And this is where these massive cosmic ideas become deeply, deeply personal. The first engine is biological. The whole point of building new worlds isn't just for fun. It's to create homes, or laboratories, for future generations of spirit children. And get this, creation isn't a solo gig. It's presented as a fundamentally collaborative marital act. It requires both a divine father and a divine mother working together.
And what's so cool is how methodical it all is. This isn't random. It's like divine project management. Step 1, you scout a location. You find some empty space. Step 2, you hold a planning meeting with other divine beings. Then you get to the terraforming phase, organizing the matter, separating light from dark. And finally, you start introducing life, from the simple to the complex. It's a process. It's repeatable.
Now, if that process is repeatable and scalable, what happens when you have countless creators all following this blueprint, each building their own worlds? I mean, you'd have a cosmos just teeming with divine societies. Which raises a massive question. How does a society of gods govern itself without it all descending into total cosmic chaos?
And again, the model here is probably not what you'd expect. Instead of a single top-down pyramid with one ruler at the very peak, this worldview suggests something more like a decentralized fractal network. It's a society of peers, where everyone is a creator, all coexisting. But how does that even work?
The governing principle has a name for it, covenantal mutualism. You can think of it like a social contract for the entire cosmos.
There's no single king or cosmic police force. Instead, the whole society is held together by a shared, voluntary agreement between all these creator beings to live by a set of universal laws. It's not top-down command, it's a mutual, foundational understanding.
And here's the kicker. This is a universe governed by law, not by whim. This cosmic constitution applies to everyone, even the creators. In fact, their creative power comes directly from understanding and perfectly following these laws. If they were to violate them, they would literally lose the very power that makes them creators in the first place.
All right, I know this has all been huge, vast, cosmic stuff, but what's really fascinating is how the source material brings this entire grand narrative right down to a surprisingly personal level. It connects all of this directly to you and me, right here, right now.
According to this framework, our life here on Earth, it's the training ground. It is literally primary school for future creators. We're here to learn the small laws first, things like physics and biology, sure, but also things like empathy, justice, and consequence, so that one day we can be trusted to handle the really big stuff.
And that brings us right to the heart of this entire blueprint. The final, really transformative idea is that we aren't just spectators watching a finished movie. In this worldview, you and I, we are positioned as apprentices in a great cosmic workshop, learning the craft from the ground up.
So let's just pull this all together for a second. We've looked at a blueprint for a universe where creation isn't magic, it's a process of organization, where divine power is a kind of technology that's guided by cosmic law, and where our own lives, right now, are an apprenticeship for becoming creators ourselves. Which leaves us with one last, pretty mind-bending thought. If this is the framework, then the universe isn't a finished painting, it's a canvas, and you're being handed the brush.